All right. Today we're going to be working on Bowia volubilis, and it's one of the first plants I fell in love with. I just like the fluorescence. I think it's cool how it spreads and how you can also control it, you know, have it vine over a trellis or cactus. Now this is a plant from Eastern and Southern Africa, and it's, you know, pretty abundant. Now there is another species. This is Bowia volubilis, and then I also have Bowia garipensis, which is a winter grower. This one's a spring grower. They do go dormant in the wintertime. You don't need to water them that much. They actually can take, you know, a drought for a good while. You'll notice after a while, if you haven't watered them, they'll start to, you know, the outer skin will dry up and it'll just become a shell, and then they'll be real squishy, but it's not dead. They call it the climbing onion because it has a bunch of layers like an onion, and these scales is actually how we're going to be propagating this plant today. I'm going to be using these gloves because it is a slightly poisonous plant. You don't want to let your cats eat it. It is poisonous to animals, but we've got, you know, cats and dogs around here, and they don't mess with it, and it's all good. And what we're going to do is we're going to peel back some of those layers, let them dry out in the windowsill, and we're going to notice they're going to grow little bulbs along the edge, and that's how we're going to propagate it. Now, I have been able to grow some from seed because they are self-fertile, or at least the garipensis is. All of these right here, these guys are from scale propagation. So just peeling back a layer, and these guys are probably about 4 or 5 years old from the last time I did this. All right, so we got a big mama right here, and I'm gonna start by taking this out of the soil. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some of this out of here. Now, there might even be 2 bulbs underneath this whole thing, because what they do is they'll split over time. So they don't really even need us to propagate them this way, but they'll do it on their own. And you can see the old layers actually peeling back some, and that's totally fine for us because we just need, you know, about 2-inch pieces of this. Even when you're ripping it apart, if a little piece breaks off, save it, try it. I've had them work before. All right, guys, so I did actually a bunch of these a few years ago, and by the end my hands were really itchy. So I'm just gonna put these on for protection. All right, making my cut. And this is real soft. And I'm just gonna do another little cut over here. And it's okay if I go in kind of deep because we're probably gonna try to get that next layer too. So there we go, we got 2 pieces here. And this is actually still good enough to try propagating. And you can see how far I cut through there. We're just gonna keep going. So this guy's gonna lose some size, but we're gonna gain some pups. So I'm gonna, you know, if you use the knife, it's actually cleaner, but again, you are cutting in more than just peeling it. You know, if I try to peel it like this, I'm getting a little bit smaller pieces. But now I'm gonna come over here and try not to go too far in. But let's see if we can get a nice big chunk like that. And that's actually 2 layers, and so we'll take that apart. And yeah, so this is what we're going for, guys. These nice chunky pieces, layers of this climbing onion. And this is gonna be a video that's gonna take us a little bit longer because this is probably gonna take about 4 months for them to eventually make the pups. Now, before I had a greenhouse, I would just, you know, set these in my windowsill. You don't want full sun on them, but because, you know, we have warm greenhouses here, I can put them in a slightly shady spot and just keep them dry and just let them do their thing. Oh yeah. Oh. And so even these, I could just leave this on the bottom and there's a good chance that it'll put out little pups on its own. But I'm gonna peel those off. Now it looks like, you know, got a slight cut there. That'll probably come off naturally. And, you know, a slight cut here, but that's fine. I'll just leave those and just let it split when it's ready. So now this is ready to be repotted. All right, so kind of similar to what we were doing with the Bowia, this is from a leaf of this Lettiboria, and you can see that it does the same kind of thing, a little bulb, just letting it dry out and root. This is one of the seedlings in here with these cacti. Thing is, I had planted a bunch and I didn't think that they worked, so instead of just dumping out all the soil, I threw a couple of cactus seeds in there and that's what I ended up with. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and take out this Bowia garipensis out with these guys. And I have a couple other ones going, but I can't tell if they're dead or alive because they do, oh shoot, there's a little one right here too. Check out this little bulb here as I move away this cactus, little matucana. There it is right there, bad boy himself. I wanna say it's about 2 years old. Oh yeah. Now this is the thicker stem Bowia garipensis, winter grower seed. And then there's a little guy right here. Oh yeah. All right, there they are, sweet. As you grow your Bowia volubilis from these cuttings, they're gonna have little roots coming out, but you don't wanna pluck them off yet. Just let them stay on that slice as long as possible so they can get as much energy and nutrients as they can from that piece. And then they're gonna look kind of like this with their little roots and their little fluorescence starting, and you can pluck them off and set a bunch of them in a pot and water them like seedlings. And yeah, that's how you do it. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Make sure to like and subscribe Botany Basics and follow East Austin Succulents and Fireproof Plants on Instagram.